Hello everyone, welcome to another Take a Peek episode. This week we're taking a peek at Tidalis. At least I'm assuming that's how it's called given the tidal waves in the background. This is a puzzle game developed by Arkan Games. I've been doing a lot of those games from the developer recently. But this is, like I said, it's a puzzle game. It's $5 on Steam. And it's an interesting puzzle game. Let me go ahead and show you around here. So this is the tour. This is the guided tour, technically, so you can kind of learn a little bit about the game here in the tour. So you have a brainteaser sampler and an action sampler, and then the adventure. The samplers are very small. They're just itty-bitty amounts of puzzles, and they're a really great way to get you involved in the game. The adventure is something we will get to in just a moment. So this game bugs. I'm gonna do something out of the way right away. This game bugs me in the settings. So the graphical settings in particular. Trying to make it bigger, trying to make the windows bigger, causes a lot of issues with the game. I've noticed I've had a really hard time getting the graphical settings to work properly on bigger resolution. So it's actually a small 1280 by 768 window that I normally play the game in, which ultimately is fine. The game runs perfectly fine like that, but it is a pain that I can't actually make the window go bigger. It's not a huge problem because, again, this is a puzzle game, so you don't necessarily need it to be huge, but it would just be nice to be able to see more. Aside from that, there's not a whole lot of interesting things to talk about in the settings. It's all fairly straightforward, and a lot of this makes more sense as you play the game. You can make more sense out of all this. Also, you can change the style of the blocks if you so choose. There's also, so, you know, it says one player right here. There's two player. It's actually a two-player game, so you can do that co-op on the same computer, or you can do that on network play. And I have yet to actually try it out. I don't know anyone else who owns this game, but it looks interesting. It looks like it could be a lot of fun. And I'm not sure how it'll work out, but it looks like it could be a lot of fun. So let's go ahead and look around. Again, the tutorials are good. I recommend doing the tutorials. They are actually very, very good. We won't get into those right now. I'll go ahead and just show you a little bit of the game in of itself. Editor is pretty cool. But let's just go ahead and go to play here. So aside from the tour, which had some samplers, there are actually a whole lot of different puzzles that exist. And I have not downloaded any. But official puzzles that exist, there are several. And I highly recommend going through them. I have not gone through all of them, but they're tough. They're absolutely tough. But these puzzles, you actually don't have to access in puzzles unless you want to. You can actually go to the adventure, which to me is the biggest draw of this puzzle game, which is interesting to say, that in a puzzle game, I want more of the story, more of the adventure. But it's actually true. So in the adventure, go ahead and just jump into this adventure. My old save file disappeared, but that's okay. So this is what the whole map looks like. This is what it normally looks like when you're going through on your adventure. And this is as far as I've gotten just for the purposes of this episode, but I have actually gone further in the game before I just lost my save file. So you can see the path we take is pretty straightforward. You can just follow this little path here. And the premise is you have crashed onto this tropical paradise, this island, and you're trying to figure out how to get off. And through it, you engage with some very interesting characters. I don't want to spoil too much as you continue to meet more characters, and the story really continues on to become something very interesting further on. It gets very difficult, and I'll let the rest of that exist for you to find all on your own. But let's just go ahead and jump into one of these right here. So, something that'll go quickly. Alright, this one. Level 6. So we'll jump in here so you can see what the game's about. So you have the level, a little tip that tells you a little bit more about the level, your goals to win, what happens to lose, what game styles might be involved. There are several different game styles, and honestly, it's intense. The different game styles are really intense. My favorite is probably Graviton, but there's a lot of really interesting game styles. And then any special blocks that may be in play. In this case, we have Tinder blocks. So with Tinder blocks, you can't solve any of the chains through the Tinder blocks. If you clear red blocks near the Tinder blocks, then the Tinder blocks go away. So let's go ahead and look at how the game plays out. So right mouse button highlights all of the same color, and then you change the direction of the arrows. So then if I went ahead and did something like this, so you can see the arrows just kind of go like this in this entire path right here, and then I left click, it sends out a little stream, and it connects everything together. And then as the blocks fall, they shoot out fresh streams. So you can create some interesting combinations. So if we do this, and then we do this, so we lower this, and then this purple block fires, and it creates a stream, like that. So you can see you can create some nice combos very easily, very quickly. The game appears to be a little slow, like it looks like it's slow. You can speed it up, barely, or you can speed it way up if you want things to go a little bit more quickly. And that's nice. Having your own little speed controls is actually very helpful. Now you can only have one stream going at a time. You notice I tried to click there to get another stream going, and it shook the block back and forth. You can only have one stream going at a time. See? Oh, there it goes. Let's go ahead and knock that out. So, remember, these Tinder blocks only go away if a red block goes off next to them. So those two Tinder blocks went away right there. I'll go and knock this out. You can make chains with blocks that are falling. So if we went ahead and did this, the blocks had not landed yet, but we had already made a change. So that's a standard level and some standard gameplay. Things get a little weird later on. If we go back to the menu and go back to the tour, which you can just get rid of, I'll go ahead and show you something a little bit more advanced. So this is Try Graviton Zen. So, you can see the load times are great. So this has the game styles Zen, which means it doesn't matter that the board is filled. The board will always be filled, and that's fine. It also has Graviton, which means basically gravity takes over. And then it has these quad repeaters, which multiplies the stream by 4 in every direction when it hits, which are very interesting. So, we have 3 minutes to get 175,000 points. The question is here, how do we want to go about connecting all the blocks together? Let's go and start like this. So you can see how it's jumping around like that. It starts raining the different blocks because of Graviton. So Graviton pulls everything quickly to the bottom. Watch. Boop. Just like that. They all shot out towards the bottom there. And this, I think, is a really interesting way to get involved in the game, watching this one happen, because it really just kind of shoots everything out at you all at once and makes it very interesting, honestly. It does a very good job of making it interesting. Oh my. And it just kind of cascades forever. Now, you're not seeing a lot of different block types. You know, there's only 3 block types. That's so you can get the points more quickly. That's a specific type of this play mode that the developers decided, wow, we just cleared a lot. Holy cow, we cleared a lot. The developers decided that this is how much you should have. These are the different blocks you should have. My goodness, it's just going on forever. Climb! So, for the most part, what I've shown you here today is the entire game. It's a cute little puzzle game. There's not a lot to it. However, for $5, this game is actually pretty solid. Honestly, there's not a lot more I can reasonably say about it. For the $5 price, I would say this game is absolutely worth it if you like puzzle games. The dollar per hour is absolutely there. Absolutely no question the dollar per hour is here. So, again, if you like puzzle games for $5, I highly recommend picking it up. It's very relaxing. For me, it's a good stress reliever because it's not a very tense game. It's really not. There, we'll do this. We need to hurry up and get enough points here. We have like 15 seconds. Are we actually gonna fail? I haven't failed this one before, actually. Actually, if I get an opportunity, let's go ahead and show you what happens when you do fail. So you have 5 seconds left. When you lose, just you see here in just about a couple more seconds. So this is what happens when you lose. It's just like, hey, do you want to try again? You have restart, main menu, and when you unlock an achievement, there's an achievement. Never had 30 blocks in a single chain before? Well, now we have that. So, pretty cool. You can see what the board looks like, but there's not much else you can do. So, go back to the main menu, back to the tour, jump in on the adventure again. It's really cool. I think the adventure is a lot of fun and absolutely worth it. The tutorials do a great job of explaining the game, better job than I could possibly ever do. And the editor is some good fun. It unlocks a lot of stuff. So, I ultimately give this game, Tidalis, a 7 out of 10. It's a fun game. It's priced fairly. If you like puzzle games, you'll like Tidalis. And for me, it's a big stress reliever, a very calm and relaxing game that sucks up a lot of time. Erin sat down. I showed this game to her, and she sat down and started playing the beginning levels. And she was planning on going to bed. But she sat down and started playing it, and then suddenly it was an hour later. And she stopped playing it because, like, hang on, it's been an hour. How has an hour already passed by? She was completely blown away that an hour had passed by. And that, to me, is a trademark of a good game. It just kind of eats away at your time without you really knowing that it does. I should say one last thing here. Each different challenge on here takes about 5 minutes. There are also secret challenges that you can find off on the side. If you click in specific locations, you can find these little secret challenges. You can just click all over the map. Like right here, for example. There's a challenge right there. So here you can see one of the little characters here. This guy is Tubbs. Here, kitty kitty. It's okay. Come on out. And this will be, of course, the little kitty. And so this is puzzle 2, too. So, of course, the point here is to go through the puzzle and figure out how you are going to solve it. And this is an interesting puzzle. So if you go down, that doesn't quite work. So, you have one move to solve this entire puzzle. It's not always so easy. For some people, they'll pick it up right away. They'll know what they're doing. I know I solved this puzzle before. I don't remember how I solved this puzzle before, but the point is to sit down again. These can take around 5 minutes on average, I have found, to solve the puzzles and to solve the adventure storyline as well. So, just an example of what one puzzle looks like. Again, guys, this is a solid game for $5. I recommend it. And that's actually just going to be it for this Take a Peek episode. There's not that much else to talk about. My only gripe is, again, video settings are wonky. I don't like the settings. That's my only gripe about the game. Honestly, it's my only gripe. So, remember, guys, if you liked the video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and share with your friends. Best thing you can do for the channel. You can always check out my other reviews, both in the Take a Peek playlist and on the Steam page for curators. I am a curator on Steam. You can check out all my other reviews there as well, at least for Steam games. So as always, guys, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time with another Take a Peek episode. DFTBA.